Hello my Mercurial mercenaries! This is another time waster video. Those who are long time viewers know what that means. It means me rambling on, so feel free to move on if all you want to hear is discovers or whatever. This is another age related video. It goes hand in hand with my previous video, which was the musicians that you listened to when you were young, in your formative years. They got old. They grew up alongside you. They're probably still making music now. Do you listen to it? Do you listen to music of older musicians? That was the previous video. This video is a similar subject. It's why do you stop listening to new music as you get older? Now, there might be a couple of reactions here. Some of you might say, well, I don't. And that's the end of that argument. However, I think on the whole, this kind of headline on this website, BBC website, does hit the nail on the head. I think on the whole, you do stop listening to new music as you get older, specifically new music. There is also a case for putting forward the notion, I sound like Jim Morrison now on the soft parade, for putting forward the idea that as you get older, you just stop listening to music. You stop choosing to listen to music. You might hear it on the radio or on the telly or whatever, but you stop choosing to listen to it. Let's avoid that one for the minute. Why do you stop listening to new music as you get older? And I think there are a few reasons for this. I mentioned it in my previous video, and I think this is the most important one for me. And I want to see what you guys think about this. I truly believe that music is a time machine. Let me explain what I mean by this. When it comes to your senses, seeing, feeling, hearing, smelling, I think it's been scientifically established, right, that smell is the most... Smell can take you back quicker than any other sense. Do you ever get that time where you just smell something and you're immediately taken back to the schoolroom because you can smell, oh my God, that smells just like the blackboard, or that smells just like the cleaner they used in the toilets when I was 6. Just takes you back, bang. Well, that might be the strongest sense involved in my time machine hypothesis. But for me, music's there as well, big time. A song, for me, and I'm hoping that you'll agree with me on this, a song can transport me back in time, just like that. I can hear it, and I'm just there. I'm feeling what I felt the first time I heard it, and you associate, even if you don't choose to, even if you don't realise it, even if it's subconscious, your brain associates sound and music with actions and times. How often do you hear a song and you are transported? Does anyone agree with me here? There are certain songs that I hear and I'm immediately with an old girlfriend. Certain songs I hear and I'm immediately in a place and time. When I hear the Red Hot Chili Peppers' Blood Sugar Sex Magic album, I'm in a thunderstorm in Austria. When I hear songs by the band James, regardless of how I actually feel about the band James, I can tolerate them, because for me, James are a time machine back to a previous life and a previous girl. I mean, good, bad music. Music is a time machine. So music has that ability to take you back in time. And for many of us who are obsessed with nostalgia like I am, the ability to be taken back in time as you get older is a positive. I'm not saying everyone had great childhoods here, but the ability to be taken back in time by music. So if you have the chance of listening to the latest Skepta album, or just putting something on that transports you back to being a teenager, driving around in your car on a hot summer's day with a girl by your side, that's my first point. The fact that I think I've made the point. Music is a time machine. And the music that you already know is comfortable. It's like putting on an old faithful pair of shoes. As you get older, I think you like comfort. As you get older, we're back to time again. As you get older, you seem to have less time to do anything. So listening to music, when I was young, I was playing, I completed Final Fantasy VII before anyone else had even started the bloody thing. I had that much time. I occasionally wander onto the Discord servers and I see the youth of today absorbing all the new music out there. They're talking about it, they're listening to it, they're comparing notes on it, everything. If an album was released yesterday, they've already heard it, they want to hear that, they want to hear that, they've heard that, they're talking about that, they're doing that, they're talking about that, they're absorbing it, absorbing it, absorbing it. I think people of that age, in your teens or whatever, I don't think they can ever, until you get to that point, they can ever appreciate how difficult it is for someone who's older to do that. I think when you're young, and I did it myself, I had drawers, racks of CD singles, every single released by every band in the Britpop era I had all the albums, I had everything. I absorbed every single piece of music that was out there between 1990 and 1998. For an 8-year period, everything. After that it tails off and it's about time again. Music is a time machine and it takes you back to the tastes, the smells, the feel, the exuberance, the atmosphere of a bygone era in your life. But also, music is a time waster. And you get to the point where I can't be listening to every... You could do it as a career. Someone like Anthony Fantana, if you pay me to do nothing but listen to music, I'll do that. I can do that. But an older person who isn't being paid to listen to music has to find the time to listen to music. And when you have to find the time, do you want to risk listening to a brand new artist? Or would you rather put Highway to Hell on by AC/DC because you know you're going to like it? You've only got a limited amount of time to listen to something. I want to listen to something that I'm familiar with, that I'm comfortable with. I'm going to listen to Seventh Son of the Seventh Son or Highway to Hell. Am I going to listen to a band called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard? And also, what you find is that the new bands out there, new music tends to be created by young people. And young people are targeting young people. It's not like someone comes onto the scene at the age of 17 with a guitar and thinks, what audience am I going to target? I think I'm going to target the 60 and aboves. No, they're targeting themselves. They're writing for themselves. So quite often I had it a little bit recently where I listened to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard's second EP, Willoughby's Beach, and there were songs on there like get out of bed, get out of bed, get out of bed, remember to brush your teeth, remember to... It sounded like a mantra saying remember to get out of bed, remember to do your homework. And it's like, who's that targeted at? That was targeted at themselves back then. Did I enjoy it? I enjoyed it overall, it was fun. But no, not particularly. The lyrics, not particularly. The band got older and their fans got older. So we have got to a point now where King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard are making music that I think is fantastic. They're no longer telling you to get out of bed and brush your teeth. They're telling you about the murder of the universe from infinite vomit. That's more like it. As an older person, that's what I want to hear. The death of the entire universe from infinitely spewed vomit. That's what I want to hear. So you've got songs that take you back like a time machine to better times. Songs that can act like a holiday for your mind. That's the reason why you listen to the music that you grew up with. And you've got the fact that you've got limited time anyway, so why would you listen to anything other than the songs that take you back in time? And you've got the fact that probably as we progress through time, music is becoming more and more... It's more and more difficult to create something that's brand new. People will tell you it's impossible to come up with something that's brand new. I would say every 5 to 10 years, a genre comes along, a musical genre comes along that does break new ground. Whether it's punk or new wave of British heavy metal or grunge or trip hop, every so often something does come along that people, the general public even, will go, hold on a second, that sounds different. But on the whole, the people who are listening to music as a time machine and have limited time are also hearing new music by new bands and saying, hang on a second, that just sounds like David Bowie. And people have always done that. When Suede came out in the 90s, people went, that just sounds like Bowie. When Jarvis Cocker came out doing his stuff with Pulp, people said, that just sounds like Bowie. I hear new bands all the time where I think, hang on, this is what the general public are listening to, but it just sounds like Michael Jackson. Or there was a new young band recently where I just thought that sounds exactly like Led Zeppelin. And when you feel like that, you think, well, why am I going to choose to listen to a band that sounds exactly like Led Zeppelin when I could just listen to Led Zeppelin? And it helps that Led Zeppelin has the time machine element and I'm familiar and comfortable with it. So hand in hand, all together, you can see why when it comes to a band like Greta Van Fleet, the people that Greta Van Fleet are the same age as, who they're targeting their music as, are going to be the ones that say, shut up, you old farts. This is the future. This is the potential. And then the old farts say, yeah, I understand. I'll listen to Led Zeppelin 4, thanks. It's fine. It's fine. You carry on doing your thing. I'll listen to the originals. And you become, as an older person, you become quite set in your ways. And you think, everything's been done now, guys. The youth of today, everything's been done all right. And it was done better in my day. So I'll just listen to my stuff. Right. Why do you stop listening to new music as you get older? I think that's the main reasons, and I'd like you to tell me if you can think of any other reasons below. Why should you listen to new music as you get older? Because music progresses. The idea that music was once great and now it's not. Musicians used to have to play live in the studio. You used to have to be able to play their instruments. There was no Pro Tools. There was no Ableton Live. There was no auto-tune on the vocals. Do you know what? Everything we've just said there are just means to an end. Everything can be used for good or for bad. Auto-tune, I get sick of hearing how auto-tune is quite maligned. Yes, I agree. If you listen to the typical pop song with someone who can't sing and auto-tune's being used to improve their vocals to such an extent that you just think, God, you're a robot. Fine. But everything can be used as a tool. And on the whole, just like all the art forms, music, film, art, I think overall everything is improving as time goes on. Music is improving. It's people learn from past mistakes, whether that's their own past mistakes as they get older or the past mistakes of other bands. People build upon the existing knowledge. So you can just say, no, music reached its pinnacle with Pet Sounds and Revolver and Exile on Main Street and Ziggy Stardust, and I'm not listening to anything else after that, because now it's just a load of kids who can't play good instruments, messing around with electronic equipment and just cutting and pasting, right? There are virtuosos on any instrument you care to mention today who can play guitar better than any guitarist that you're going to mention from the past. There are guitarists today who can easily play better than Jimmy Page, who was sloppy anyway, and they can easily play better than Jimi Hendrix. They can. They're all out there. You can YouTube it. There's kids of like 3 years old who've got nappies on, diapers on, nappies on, diapers on, nappies on, who can three-hand tap, I don't know, chin or something like that, and do all this shit better than any Van Halen ever could. It's all out there. All your virtuosos are still out there. All the bands are still building on previous knowledge. Everything's improving, and then you think, well, how do you prove this? Someone's just going to say, well, go on then, show me a song that's as good as All Along the Watchtower or Stairway to Heaven. They're out there. They're out there. Those songs are out there. Better? Better's subjective, right? And can you ever say anything's objectively better? That's a subject for another video as well. But if you listen to new music created today, yesterday, last week, last year. There are great songs out there. There are great songs. There are great songs on Tim Impler albums. There are great songs on King Gizzard albums. There are great songs on MGMT albums. They build upon the past. My favourite song, maybe of this year, She Works Out Too Much. Yeah, it builds. I've done a video about it before. It builds on a previous song from the 80s so heavily that when I heard the original 80s song, I was a bit shocked. I thought, oh, MGMT kind of ripped this off, really. But as long as you appreciate it's like 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4, you're always advancing. You're taking fragments and bits of what was great before, and you're aiming towards that perfect song. And maybe the perfect song won't be written for another 10,000 years. But along the way, we've got a hell of a ride, people. We've got a hell of a ride. Why do you stop listening to new music as you get older? It's a shame if you do. It's a shame if you do. And I gotta say, I spent 10 years living up to that headline. I spent 10 years just listening to old AC/DC albums and not caring. Didn't care about new music. Passed me by for a decade. New music passed me by, and I didn't care. And I mean, that's the point. If you ask someone who's stopped listening to new music this question, they're likely to also say to you, I don't care. I like what I like. I like what I like. I'm too old to get involved in anything new now. I like what I like and I'm happy. And there's nothing wrong with that. But having spent 10 years doing it and breaking free from the other side and experiencing I've had to force myself to do it, but it's been quite a fun experience along the way. And a lot of it's been captured on this channel. So I thought this video would probably tie in with the last video. It's another age-related video. And what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Why do you stop listening to music as you get older? Thank you. Bit off the top of my head there. Let me know if you want more of this or whatever. Thank you very much. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Do that or do that. Thank you very much. Over and